Hi guys, and welcome to lesson 2 of Mr. G's Idiot's Guide to Composing and Arranging. Glad you could come back for this second section of this series of lessons. Today we're going to be looking again at Sibelius software, and this time we're going to look at writing tunes, what makes a good tune, some sections like repeating it, and maybe we might even get on to a little bit of modulation. So, as usual, if you log on and open up Sibelius, you will find you will come to this screen where we're going to have a new score. Like before, we're just going to click on treble staff. It automatically defaults to 4/4 time signature, so we'll stick with that. Okay. Now last time, let's just make that full screen. Last time I taught you how to input notes, and if you remember, we're doing them via the mouse and via the use of this keypad. So we're going to start off by putting in just a few crotchets, and this time we're going to put in 4. Now if you press R for repeat, you can put in a series. We're going to put in 4 bars worth of C's, which is third space up. Don't forget, always tap escape so you don't get into trouble there. Now, when we're writing tunes, one of the things that I teach my students is to really try and keep a little bit of shape to the tune and don't have too many jumps or leaps about there. The best tunes tend to have movement by what we call stepwise, which means they go either up a note or down a note, then with occasional leaps. Now, if you remember from last time, you can easily change the pitch of notes by either dragging them up or down or using the up and down arrows on your keyboard. Okay, so let's just go for something nice and simple. Little tune, doesn't jump about, might have a little jump there, and then we'll go something like that. Okay, so I'm going to tap on escape, and then I'll show you a little shortcut here. I might have shown you this last time, but if you click on the first note and press P on your keyboard, it should just P for play. And tap spacebar to finish. So yeah, nothing special, just a nice little tune. The little leaps there work okay, yeah, and we've got ended. The other thing I always say to my students, start and end on the same note. Okay, now if we have used just the notes of the C scale, which we have, no accidentals, we can say, and also because we started and ended on the note C, that first phrase is in the key of C. Now, when I am teaching youngsters to compose tunes, I often say to them, to start off with, you need some sort of structure, okay? And the structure that I teach them straight away, which I'm going to teach you today, is what we call AABA, and it gives a nice balanced structure to your tune. So if we look at this first 4 bars, 2, 3, 4, and we call that section A. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put an A above there. So just hold on a minute, let's do that. And we're going to call that A. So we can see clearly that this is section A. I'm going to put a double bar line in. Now it was doing something a little bit weird the other day. It was putting 2 in, but we'll have a look. So you click on the bar after. If you hold down Control and right click, it drops this little menu. And under bar line, you can put a double in. And then tap escape. You see it's weirdly putting 2 in, and I don't know why it's doing that, but never mind. We'll get rid of that one. And so we can see clearly that first phrase of the tune is our little section A. Now, because the structure that I'm teaching you is AABA, we want this to occur again. So we're going to copy. Now, if you remember from last lesson, we click somewhere in the middle of the first bar. Then we hold down Shift, and this is on a MacBook Pro, by the way, and we click somewhere in the end of the last bar, and it captures the whole 4 bars. So what we've got there is that first phrase with the rectangle around it, and then if we hold down Alt and click at the beginning of the next bar, we've got it repeated. So there's our first bit of structure, A, okay. We'll put a double bar line in, so control right click, bar line double, get rid of that. No, I'm going to try something actually. Let's click the whole bar. I don't normally do this on the, well, I didn't do it on the previous version of Sibelius I was using. Let's see if it automatically does it this way. So we're putting the bar, we want the bar line, double bar line at the end of this bar. Let's try it, see if it works. Double bar line. No, it doesn't. It still puts 2 in. That is very annoying. So let's, sorry Sibelius, but that is annoying. We don't like that. I don't know why it does that. Maybe I'm just doing something daft. Right, so now we're going to come back to our B section, 4 bars, in a minute. Okay, so we're going to put another bar line in here. There. Double, annoying, repeat. Now we know, I said to the structure, we're going to do A, B, A. So therefore we're going to end with that A section. So we're going to copy it again. So we click on that first bar, hold down Shift, click at the end of it, so we've captured it, hold down Alt, and we're going to put in it and then there. Now you might think, it's a bit repetitive that. Yeah, but bear with me on this. Now, our B section is where we're going to really make a contrast, because we're actually going to modulate, which means we're going to change key, which also means we're going to use a slightly different scale. Now for conventional melody writing, so like people who are writing pieces for exams, GCSE and stuff like that, you don't want to go too adventurous too soon. Okay, so all we're going to do, we're going to modulate. Now the easiest thing to do is to either modulate to what we call the dominant or the relative minor. Now those of you that play an instrument will know that every major scale, I know this word scale strikes fear into many hearts, but never mind, bear with me. So every major scale has a relative minor, which just means it shares the same key signature. And the relative minor of C major is A minor. So we're going to modulate to A minor here for our contrasting. So what we're going to do, we're going to put, just like the same process as before, we're going to put some A's in. Now A's, second space up, R for repeat. Don't do too many, otherwise you're going to make a right dog's dinner of your tune. And tap escape as always. Now, there is one thing, important thing to remember when we are doing minor scales, and that is the 7th note of the scale has to be raised. So in this case, any G's that we use want to be G sharp, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Now the same thing is, we're going to do a nice little stepwise tune. Put a G in there. Now, so our G's, I've used 2 of them here, need to be sharpened. Now, if you look up at let's drag the keypad down here so we can see. So if we click on that G, and you'll notice here, you've got your 3 accidentals, your naturals, your sharps, and your flats. And it's as simple as, there we go. And we've got another one to do here. Click on the note. There we go. So tap escape. Let's just listen to that phrase. Now, I'm keeping it very simple here. We've only used crotchets, but P for play. Alright, so we could put some quavers in like we did last week. Remember, change that to quaver, R for repeat. Quaver. Quaver. I'm going to town a bit here, aren't I? Alright, that might be a little bit overkill, but never mind. So now we have got, and we'll call this section B. So we've now got our A, repeated A, contrasting section, 4 bars, contrasting phrase in A minor, because it starts and ends on A, and it uses the notes of the A minor scale with a G sharp raised 7th. Then it goes back to that. Now it might, when you repeat, you're repeating this 3 times, so it might be you want to do some slight modification. So we could put passing notes in here, just to make it so it's not an absolute repeat. Okay. And and make that a long note at the end. Okay, so it's nearly the same, enough for it to be recognisable, but it puts a slight contrast in at the very end. So let's have a listen now to our AABA melody. Okay, here we go. A lot of traffic out there today. So it's repeated. Now this is where we get that lovely contrast to A minor. And back to A, but slightly modified. Here we go. And with the long notes at the end. Okay, so there we have, in a very short space of time, a lovely little 16-bar melody that's got some structure to it, that makes sense, that's got a modulation in it. Now if you're trying to write a little piece, particularly as you get a little bit older and we get to sort of like exam periods, that would be a good way to start. And what we will do over the next few lessons is we'll build this up into a really, really nice, big exam level type piece. But for now, that's not bad. There's only one other thing I might show you actually. If you want to change the tempo, so for example, I'm going to get rid of these letters now because we don't need them. We understand it. If you want to change the tempo of your piece, so you want to make it go faster, okay, now if we go up into this space here and hold down Control again and right click, drop that little menu. If we go down to text and tempo, now tempo is a musical term meaning speed, as you probably already know, okay, and if we click up here, oh, where's that gone? Let's try that again. I don't know what we did then. Text, tempo. There, we get a flashing line. If we keep Control pressed down and right click the flashing line, we get all these lovely Italian terms. So let's try a fast name, which is, let's go for Allegro. And Allegro appears, and that should make it go a little bit faster. Hear that? A little bit quicker tempo, gives it a little bit more energy, this tune. And so on. Okay, now the best thing you can do is to get on and practice that. So I would have my phone open, YouTube on my phone. Yeah, if you've subscribed, which I hope you have, to Mr. G's Idiot's Guide to Composing and Arranging, you'll be able to find this lesson, have it on your phone, get your Sibelius open, and see whether you can create yourself a nice little 16-bar tune. Don't forget, whenever you finish working, go to the top and save as. Okay, save as. We're going to call this lesson 2. And we're going to come back to it next week and I'm going to show you some more things you can do with it. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And I hope to see you next time for another lesson of Mr. G's Idiot's Guide to Composing and Arranging. Okay, have fun. Bye now.